Howdy there, folks. Apologies for a slightly delayed start. Little bit of an issue here with some technology. Lovely technology has betrayed me once again. I'm just trying to get sorted, and not all of my things are thinging. Oh, okay, I thought we'd opted for a 1080p stream, but clearly not. Right, now I am back. No, I'm not quite back. Yeah, nearly back. Hold on, hold your damn horses. Do very much apologize for this. I've just reworked everything on the stream, and a whole bunch of things have just stopped working. Let's hit that. We'll put some background music in place for you. And okay, so we should technically be good.
What's going on?
I believe.
Well,
yeah, looks like. Right.
The title wrong.
How the devil are you, everyone? Welcome back to another stream with me, Fluent Code, here in the UK, on Twitch and YouTube. That's right, that's my standard introduction. Apologies for the manky cup of tea. It's green tea. I do love a bit of green tea. Yeah, so anyway, folks, where were we? Well, we were in the middle of our... Sorry, I am completely unprepared for this stream because I have been adding all sorts of technology onto my computer. And so we're a little bit little bit off the pace here. See, look, I'm trying to get everything adjusted. No, that needs to go that way a bit to keep that in the middle of the screen. There. Maybe? Yes, that's looking good. Now we were apologies, let's change this. Configure video. Camera control, that's right, we did a bit of zooming before, didn't we? There. Right. Zoomy zooms. So, we are looking at our Eldar models. Glorious, lovely, beautiful, colourful Eldar models. I'm loving these, and yeah, really having a lot of fun with them. So the plan for today is to see if we can get one or more of our models cleaned and tidied up, ready for a little bit further work. Now, it's not quite as easy as it sounds, and it's not quite as hard as I'm probably going to make it out to be, but what I'm going to try and do is get one or two of these models, and we're going to start with this guy here, the old Eldar Farseer model. And all I'm going to do is I am adding a bit of white to tidy up where we've messed up a bit. and we have messed up a bit. We've noticed the other day on a lot of these models, we are looking at a number of sort of messed up areas that will need a bit of work done to them. So I'm going to thin out some white paint. And we are going to make a start on tidying those areas up. And it is very, very simple stuff. We are going to come along and crack him into a base, and then everywhere where we've got a little bit of a boo-boo, we're going to come along and just mask those areas in with a little bit of white. Why is this brush feeling particularly dry and claggy? What's going on with that? So the main reason we're doing this is because we are going to come along with a variety of different paints, and some of them are going to be contrast paints. I know how much you'll hate me when I talk about the contrast paints and this and that and the rest of it, but I am kind of forced. Whoa, that's okay, not good. Right, let's see what we can do with this. So all we want is nice, crisp, clean colours that we can come along and apply our contrast or whatever paint over the top of. And most of these, because we are doing Eldar, they will be relatively light colours in a lot of places. So we need to have a bit of lightness in there just for these paints to pick up on. So yes, like I say, we were particularly ill prepared for this stream because during the day I managed to stop off and pick up a brand new graphics card. Brand new to me, as per usual. It's brand new to me. Now, you may remember not too long ago I was talking on stream about how I had picked up a brand new graphics card, and I honestly wasn't very satisfied with it. It was a big improvement over where we were, which when we started the stream, we were actually started with a GTX 970. Yes, you heard that right. One of those from back then. And it really was a case of one of those from back then. It was probably a 10 or 12-year-old card. Well, I managed to find myself a 5600. And I thought, oh, do you know what? That's not actually a terrible card. However, I don't know that it was particularly a very good one. Because I have had a number of problems since picking it up. Namely, in certain games, I would actually get a flickering and a stutter, and sometimes even a crash, which is a pretty good indicator to me that there is something wrong there. So I bit the bullet and I went out and I bought an RTX 3060. It's quite an old card. Say it's quite an old card. It's not quite an old card. That's the thing. It's late 22, which for me is positively brand new, because my aim with this has always been to do it on a bit of a budget. Well, perhaps we consider this a reward, since we started streaming and what have you. We haven't done an awful lot to reward ourselves. So yeah, that's what this one will count as, a bit of a reward, and hopefully it works nicely when we go to plug it in and play a couple of games. So while plugging all of that in, my OBS seemed to throw a bit of a fit. And the connection to Stream Elements has gone down, which is where I get some of my on-screen graphics from. Although it has managed to pick up again for the camera surround that I keep on screen. So perhaps the connection hasn't gone down entirely. Okay, that's actually looking pretty good, pretty tidy around most of those areas. See that we've got a little bit on here that we need to pick up and clean. And it's just things like this blue in here where we've just overlapped onto whatever colour the robes are going to be. So I just need to correct that and try and do it in a relatively sympathetic way, which means that when we do our lighter colours, our contrast, it's not going to look completely out from the white. It should still actually be able to achieve some of the contrast effect, which would be nice. Unfortunately, one of the main issues that I have is that where we have got those little snotty bits, mostly they are where we would assume the deepest shadows are. So to come along and correct it with white means that potentially we're going to mess up some of our pre-shading. But on a model like this, I don't think it really matters. The pre-shading won't be doing an awful lot of heavy lifting, because we will come back and do some actual proper paint effects with this model, as you're probably glad to hear. I mean, I'll be glad to do it as well. As I said, I never actually have put paint to this model before. This one is brand new and not actually that old. Although he is a, what was that? Download complete, wonderful. Although he's a very old model, this guy is not actually that old, because this was picked up as part of a made-to-order run, which I was so incredibly happy that they did, because I was searching and searching for this guy to come up at a reasonable price. And as you can imagine, with the eBay resellers and the community that we have, waiting for something to come up on eBay at a reasonable price is always a bloody hiding to nothing. And that's not to call out the members of the community, that's purely one or two people who spoil it for everyone else. But if you have it, it's yours to sell at whatever price you choose to sell it. So I can't really moan at them too much. Right, there we go. Now I'm not going to go too much into the highlights on the robes, because I think what we'll do is we will wait until we actually have some paint on them before we do that, to actually give us a colour to highlight up to. Yeah, okay. And as you can see, that's cleaned up all of that equipment and everything on his chest quite nicely, ready for us to come along and actually paint some more detail on it. So we're going to pop him to one side for now. I hate to say this, but I really need to look at doing this on all of the models. And as we discussed yesterday, that is the whole purpose of the stream. The whole purpose of the stream was for me to stream myself doing a project. So unfortunately, you guys are going to have to put up with it. Yeah, that's right. This is going to be a journey for all of us, which means you're going to need to be part of the journey. You're all coming along for the ride. That's what I'm saying. So, yes, it might be fabulously boring TV, but it's what you're getting. So yeah, basically what you are going to get is hopefully me learning where to position my model and the camera so that those two have a vague passing relationship with each other. That's the main gist of our journey together, is you watching me learn how to do really boring shit like stream, and along the way we might actually churn out 2nd edition Warhammer 40k army. And for me, that is the goal. I would be so pleased to finally have an army ready for the tabletop. It's been such a long time, and it's only procrastination that's stopping me, but I don't care what it was that's stopping me. It's streaming that has kind of given me the gumption, the kick up the butt, the come on, get out there and do this kind of attitude that I was probably never going to pick up otherwise. So I am properly pleased about that. Right, one of about 40 done. Yes, you heard that right. Okay, this is purely the neatening up phase before we come along and apply our next colours. I'm trying to be quite careful not to put huge splodges of this white colour everywhere, because it will look rather odd if we do cover this with contrast, for it just to have pure white areas where we're expecting some of the zenithal to be. Okay, that seems to be reasonably well cleaned up there. A couple of bits. Okay, sing out if you see any glaringly obvious bits that I've missed, like that one in there. 2 out of nearly 40. Yeah, it's going to be a slow process, guys. I do apologise, but if you're in this deep, you are probably in for the journey. So like I say, it's going to be a bit of a time sink, this one. Not as bad as, you know. Howdy AWOL, how are you? Not as bad as however long it's taken me to get the models to this stage, which 30 years. Yes, there are models in this army that have been in my collection for 30 years. Yeah, I mean, any form of progress is progress at this point, and I can't get over it. I'm super pleased with myself and you guys for the kick up the arse that doing this on stream has given to me. I honestly do believe that I might never have actually properly painted another Warhammer army if it wasn't for the idea of doing it on stream. Myself and the hobby had kind of got to this place where I didn't have any time for it. Yeah, but we'll see how this goes, because I'm very much enjoying myself. So how's your current project coming along, AWOL? What are we working on still? I'm sure you did tell me yesterday, or if you did, as you can imagine, yesterday was a little bit hectic with all the raids going on. Ah, that's it, yes. Okay, as in a commission for a friend, or just doing a favour for a friend? Because I did commission before once, didn't go very well. Still friends, which is a good thing, but it didn't go very well. I imagine if there's no money involved, then it's a lot easier to stay friends about it. I am going to have to find the time to check out your stream again. Obviously, it's a little bit difficult when you have when you start making connections with people from all across the world, because everyone's stream schedule is different. So for me, he couldn't afford me if he wanted to. Good idea to have. Good idea to have. So for me, I stream here in the UK. It's 8 o'clock in the evening. The little one's bedtime has just about passed. she'll sometimes stay up a little bit later than when I start, but I make sure that I give her a kiss before I begin if she's still up. And then I have a couple of hours to stream out before bed. You know, have to get up for work in the morning, so it's a relatively tight schedule. There's some people I see and they're streaming for like 5 and 6 hours at a time on, and they still have regular jobs. And I'm like, how do you do it? How do you find the stamina? Or do you not? Do you just have to fake it until you make it, under the hope that you can become a full-time streamer? Because I don't think that's going to happen anymore. When I was... okay. I think that is the thing. It's that phrase regular job though, isn't it? There's more and more people who are in irregular work, which maybe that makes sense. You know, turning around and using streaming as a fallback is, in that case, very, very sensible. But I don't think somebody like myself with a couple of hours a night is yeah, do you know what? I hadn't even thought of that. Oh well. I'll give you guys plenty of warning before I sell out, and then you can all jump ship and say, God, I knew him before he became a knob. Yeah, he used to be cool, and then he sold out. But this weekend, I have we have had a cancellation for our D&D. Somebody has a prior engagement that they need to attend, and we've said, do you know what? I think it's about time that we actually took a week off, because we've actually been going almost every week for... God, when did we start? It was in the winter sometime, so quite probably nearly 4 months, 5 months now, and that's a long time to do 1 day a week every week. So we are going to have a break this weekend, which means potentially hobby time. It might mean streaming and painting models, but it might mean trying out the fancy new graphics card, which means I've been threatening to do it for a little while, to post up on Discord a poll about what game you want to see us play. But it might actually mean following through on the threat at some point. And because we've actually got some new technology in the box of electricity underneath my desk, we might even expand it to a game released within the last 6 years, rather than a game released in the last 20, as I was previously playing. Right, here we go. This is the last of our Scout Squad. Well, the last of Scout Squad 1. Yeah, which is... I think that when we upgrade this army to 3rd edition, we should add in another Scout Squad, but we should make them Pathfinders with the very cool yellow paint scheme. Not yellow, the very cool green all over paint scheme, which I think was quite nice, to be honest with you. So these guys are going to have green cloaks. The Pathfinders, the other ones, are a much more specialised unit. They were introduced in 3rd edition as a special unit for the Alatok craft world. They were like super scouts, basically. So, yeah, I think when we upgrade this army to 3rd edition, I'll have to pull out my new recruit to see how many bloody dogs, excuse me. I'll have to pull out my new recruit to have a look and see exactly how many points we're looking at here. And what I think I might do is I might try and add in something, you know, round it up. Or maybe we'll just look at adding in a detachment. So a 3rd edition legal army, do it up, add it in, but try and make it themed. So the first theme for the 2nd edition army is Citizen Kane, which is our citizen levy. All of our models should be Guardian or Guardian adjacent. So Guardians, Warwalkers, Scouts, jet bikes, Vipers, Falcons, they're all crewed by Guardians, or are Guardians, and the equivalent. So that's the theme for the first portion of the army. The second portion of the army I'm not sold on yet. I was thinking what I might like to do is to make it like a sword wind, so an aspect warrior host. Lots and lots of the absolutely gorgeous metal aspect warriors. I'm going to have to close the window in a minute. Very frustrating. But the dogs don't know. It's not the dog's fault. And I actually quite like the neighbours, because they're the okay ones. The ones on the other side are knobs. So, like I say, I can't blame the dogs, and I quite like the neighbours, so I'm not actually going to make a big deal out of it. I'll just mutter and moan a little bit on stream and then close the window if it gets too much. Typical British passive-aggressive. Don't actually want to cause a fight with the neighbours, but we do need to mutter and moan about things. So most of this will be classified as technology, and therefore it will be painted in our regular bone colour, because that's how we're defining it. Anything technology related is going to be in this sort of bone colour. To try and keep the number of colours on the model down a bit. Which seems perfectly reasonable. It might turn out to be terrible, but that's the sort of guide I'm working to, the sort of not quite rules but painting rules sort of thing. Right. There we go, that's pretty much everything sorted on him. So this is just the corrective phase. Caveman, welcome into the stream. Thank you very much for the raid. Very much appreciate it. How are you? What was your stream and how did it go? I hope it went well. Good. I am glad to hear it. And what are you working on at the moment? I loved the Wood Elf, the one-page rules that you're... Gommel, Bimmel, Dresner, welcome to the stream, both of you, very much thank you. Follows as well, look at that. Yeah, tell us how it went. How did your stream go? Or some of your raiders can tell me how it went. Did he do well? Did he live up to expectations? You'll have joined us right now when I'm doing the rather boring work of a little bit of correction. So where we've got a few bits and pieces of paint that have gone astray, we're just spending a little bit of time right now. Sorry, am I reading Armored Koala Bear correctly? Digital character design. Okay. Bloody in Blandenald. Okay. And non-metallic metals. Wow. It's something I have tried a couple of times, but I've never really had much success with non-metallic metals. The theory tends to get in the way of the practice for me. I'll be looking at it and going, well, in theory that should work, but in practice it's bloody not. Okay, well, I mean, you know, that is, as they say, practice. No, I mean, I'm not even going to bother doing it. You know how the saying goes. But yeah, the more times you do it, the more times you give it a go, the better off it's gonna be. So yeah, lovely. Well, obviously you know where the Discord is, so do feel free to pop your work in there. Like I say, I do love seeing it. I did very much like the wood elf that you did. I thought that was an excellent piece of kit. No, seriously, it's a really nice. The colour scheme on it in particular is incredibly subdued, but it really works for me. I really like that. Welcome back, AWOL, back to the madhouse with our raid from Caveman. Yeah, absolutely, Caveman. Take a picture, drop it in the Discord. I do very much like to see other people's work. Right, as I say, you've joined us under the extremely sore city dude. a city dude penalising your lawn. I mean, that it sounds like, you know, like a homeowners association nightmare or something along those lines. So sorry, I mean, is that oh, I was telling from the old Eldar models people can see. Okay. Is that actually a thing? Is that really a genuine thing? Somebody comes along and goes, "Oh yeah, your lawn's too high." I mean, here, over here, for somebody, you know, from somebody from the council to come along and go, "Your lawn is a disgrace," it would have to physically be a health problem. It baffles me that the land of the free would allow city employees to come around and dictate with a. I'm guessing they must have turned up with a ruler, but how tall your grass can be. Yeah. Of course, the other response to the city man would be, well, you know where it is, you can cut it yourself if you like. And then you end up with an invoice from the city and a lawsuit from the employee. Yes, have you seen the high elf that AWOL that Caveman posted up? That is, I think, a really stunning model. High elf, wood elf. Keep calling my viewers by each other's name, I think. Right, let's have a little looky. Nice plastic one, this one. Should be nice and simple. Right, a little bit here. Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly doing doing a great service to the ex-council estate that I live on. Obviously, it was never council during my lifetime as such, but you know, it's all gone into private ownership now. But I am still one of the only people to have a sort of almost semi-abandoned car parked on my front garden. So, you know, I won't talk too much about the state of people's gardens and things like that. And I do have the excuse that it is a project car, so doesn't change the fact that it looks a bit abandoned sat there. You know, I'm doing my best to bring the property values down so that the kids can afford a house in the future. We each need to do our part after all. Right. Yeah, as I said, this is admittedly quite a boring part of the process. Yeah, I'm not actually sure if it did, but there's certain colours that will cover and there's certain colours that won't. So I figured it was probably safest to try and do it to get this bit out of the way before I found out that one of the colours that I use absolutely won't cover. And besides, if we spend a session here doing this, it'll hopefully speed up later sessions, so we won't feel too like we've wasted our time. No, not at all. Don't ever feel like that. It's there to be used. The more messages that go on there, the more it looks homely and lived in, so that when people come along, they see it and they go, oh, actually, yeah, this looks like a cool place to be. So by all means, feel absolutely free to hello. What long? Feel absolutely free to drop messages in the Discord as and when you please. That's not a problem at all. Okay, again, that's looking pretty good. Oh, apologies. Right. How are we doing for time? We've got another hour or so. I say that we've got another hour or so. I'm absolutely itching to find a game to load up and test out this new graphics card, but I must wait. I can't afford to go and start playing anything this evening because I just, as I was saying before, I don't have the time to do anything more than a couple of hours in the evenings. But fingers crossed, this weekend we will give it some exercise. We will fire it up and potentially even stream some gameplay. You know, like back in the day when I first started the channel as a gaming channel, before I found my place in miniatures and models. No, explain. The Dawn of War makeup. You'll have to... Oh, a remake. A Dawn of War remake. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Dawn of War came at one of those very odd times for me when I had basically stopped being a PC gamer and almost all of my time was spent on console, and so Dawn of War at the time kind of passed me by almost entirely. Okay, well, it'd be interesting to see what they do with it. I did enjoy it. I just sort of enjoyed it from a distance, as it were. Right, there we go. Another one bites the dust. We're moving our way through these guys fairly quickly, which is a good thing because this white is extremely boring. So I've got no idea how poorly you guys must be taking it there. Yeah, it was a bit of an odd one. Because that has kind of defined orcs ever since. They have basically behaved that same way since Dawn of War. this sort of British accented fighting party. Oh look, I missed a bit of the second coat of blue on this guy. And not to say it's too much of a bad thing. I do like the way they've styled the orcs, but those accents do get a bit much after a while. Hey, we was fighting here. And it's like, yeah, okay. Feels kind of strained, if you know what I mean. To ah, well, that's fair enough. Right, now obviously all of this chainmail is going to be in metallic, so I don't know how well that's going to show up, because only certain models have actually got the chainmail on them, which means it might end up looking a bit disjointed, but we'll see if we can make it work. But yeah, a Dawn of War remake would be interesting, I guess, as long as they don't sort of mess it up. Although, what they could do to mess it up, I don't really know. It's just the thing nowadays, isn't it? You go, oh yeah, that'd be really nice, as long as they don't mess it up. Well, hang on, what are they going to mess up? Me criticising my own line of thought there. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be almost a direct port with probably just sort of basically updated graphics, which, let's face it, that's all they really need to do. The game itself is still solid. It still runs really, really well even now, and the actual game itself is still really solid. It's not just, oh, the gameplay is still okay. The game, the storyline, the mechanics, they all still really work nicely. So all they need to do is just update the graphics. I suppose in a way, when I say as long as they don't mess it up, that's probably what I mean, is that all the game really needs is an updated graphics overhaul. Don't try and fix what isn't actually broken, would probably be what I'm concerned about. Right, that is another squadded. Don't fix what isn't broke. That's how it's commonly said over here, but I like your one. Well, it's just started to rain. It's been such a very weird week weather-wise. Because for the past few days we've had absolutely glorious weather, and then today it just turned to overcast shit, really. And now it's just started to actually rain quite heavily by the sounds of it. So I'm sure we'll be in for a lovely rest of the week. In the army I have, hold the line caller, 9, 18, 20, 22, 32, 33, 33 infantry and 2 vehicles. I've got the Viper and the War Walker. So not a particularly massive army for by current standards. Back in 2nd edition it was considerable. There's a few thousand points there. Did I make the list as 1, or can't remember if I made the list as 1 or 2,000 points, but it's a significant army back in 2nd edition, made more interesting by the fact that it's all basically Guardians, which weren't the strongest or the most expensive. They were very, very cheap infantry. Even when you equip them with shuriken catapults, which were probably the best basic weapon in the game, because each one came with a -2 save modifier and a sustained fire dice, which, if you don't remember it, if you weren't around, the sustained fire dice is the red one with lots of 3s. 1 3, 2 2s, 2 1s and a jam. And you can guess what that did. You rolled your sustained, or you rolled to hit, and if you hit, you then rolled the sustained fire dice to see how many shots you fired at them, and then you divided those shots up between the squad, so you allocated the number of hits that were going to go to each model, with the main rule being that you had to allocate 1 to each member of the squad before you could come back and double up on any one model, and then you could roll to wound. There you go, little brief crash course in in how to play 2nd edition there. I think with the new graphics card, what I might try and do for our next stream is to see if I can bump this up to a 1080p output. Now, I know I have actually been told that when you first start out, you don't really need to update your output. Print 1,000 points of Alien Hive. Wow. I'm guessing you are a, of course, because your one-page rules models you print them yourself? Is that the impression I got? Ah, wonderful. What printer have you got, if you don't mind me asking? Because I don't know whether printer technology has actually improved at all. I'm guessing it's a resin printer. And I have an Anycubic Photon Mono? Can't remember. So, I mean, resin printers are kind of limited in speed, aren't they? Because you can only... You're limited by the speed, because it will only cure at a set rate. You can't speed up the curing of them. It's not like you can put more light through and get them to cure faster. That's the impression that I've had. So I was always disappointed by just how long a print would take. And the slicer would estimate, you'd put in your printer settings and the slicer would estimate it and it'd go, yeah, no problem, I'll print that in 3 hours. And like 7 hours later, you were still waiting for your printer to catch up. And I was just like, it's a bit frustrating. You know, I love the idea of 3D printing. I have a huge number of STLs ready to go, but the printer itself is just like, oh god, these things are a ball ache. Yeah, but if you reduce the curing time down, then there is a possibility that it won't actually cure. So you can reduce the time that the light is on for, but there is a minimum that you can go down to where it won't actually cure. To be honest, I think that's probably what I had it set up on, but it still just seemed to take a very, very long time. Might have been the fact that I was a complete noob when it comes to orientation, so maybe I could have oriented the print bed better and got quicker prints that way. I can't remember what layer height I was doing, but yeah, I will have to dig out the printer again. The only reason that I haven't done anything in quite a while now is that I moved it away from... I got fed up of having it inside, so it is now waiting for me to clear some space in the shed so that I can reset up the printer. Yes, where you just plug it in and go, print for me please, and it does. That's the kind of technology that I like, that I get on well with. Technology that does it all for you. I, for one, cannot wait for our AI overlords to make my life easier, and I'll just let them run the show. Okay. Do you want to print miniatures 50% size? Bearing in mind that with quite a lot of miniatures, when you print them smaller, they need to be scaled properly, because when things like weapons and what have you get shrunk down, they tend to go incredibly thin and not work very well. I must admit, I did have quite a bit of fun. I've got them somewhere. I printed out some monopose Space Marines from the second edition box set in 125% scale. So that they looked like Primaris scale, like the new stuff. And that's quite funny, seeing the look on people's faces. There's sort of an uncanny valley, a sort of confusion. They look at it and they go, that's a lot bigger than it should be. What's going on here? Are my eyes not working properly? And then you have a little laugh at their expense, and then you explain the magic of 3D printers to them. And they go, oh, I must have one now. Ah, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I think once I get the printer set up again, I'll have to dial it all back in and make sure that everything's running right. But I would love to do a few more of the D&D miniatures. Maybe some ones that I've printed rather than just the board game miniatures that I've done to date. That would be a nice thing for me, because there's a huge range of miniatures out there. Bloody hell, I keep coughing. So, yeah, I'm getting there slowly with these guys. Just covering up where some of these mistakes have happened. Obviously, I'm not going to be painting too much in the way of detail in underneath this canopy, but it would just be nice for us to hit a little bit of it when we come to paint this area in. Bloody hell. Yes. The thing is, it's not even so with the way like delivery is nowadays, like Amazon and that sort of stuff. It's not even like you have chance to regret your purchase before it's turned up and has been delivered, and then you're expected to just get on and deal with whatever it is you've bought. So yeah, it's a brave new world that we're living in. You can't even really have that sort of period of buyer's remorse Ah, okay, yeah, ads. Yeah, I was saying that you don't even get that period of buyer's remorse where you buy something and then you have to wait a week or 2 weeks for it to turn up, and in the interim you're like, oh, I shouldn't have bought that. It's like you buy it and it arrives next day from Amazon or wherever it was, and you're like, oh, I really shouldn't have bought that. But by that point it's already arrived and you've unpacked it and you've started your test print, and yeah, like I say, it's a different world. Right, I'm actually fairly happy with the cleanup on that bike now. There's only a few more details to pick up. This doesn't need to be the cleanest. It's all going to be done in the bone colour first and then highlighted up. Ah, yes, what I do need to do though is just neaten up the edge of the bottom, like here, where it will be quite noticeable. So we're just going to come along and feather that edge in. Sorry, what's this? It's easier for you to collect files and be able to print if I want them, buy more. Yes, that is very, very true. Very, very true. And that was one of my main reasons for getting into the 3D printing. I very much enjoy the hunting down and collecting of some of the STLs. As you can imagine, a lot of the STLs that I go after are related to older editions of Warhammer, because you know it's not as if it's enough to just own the actual models. Now I want to own STLs of the models as well. It does bring me into a slightly grey area that I did wonder if I would need to be a bit cautious with what I was streaming, because at one point I was streaming the digital modelling of these STL files, so adapting them, changing them round, converting them, and then I thought, hang on, I am technically, this is copyrighted material that I'm messing around with on stream. So I thought, yeah, I'd best actually not do that anymore. Oh, of course, yes, very much back in the day. I thought that was rather clever until I actually thought about it. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, I like the style of that elf that you post up. I thought that was actually a really eye-catching miniature. So, yeah, I'm definitely tempted to actually have a look at their range and see if there's anything that inspires me to... Fantasy dwarves are coming. Now, I managed to resist the original dwarves. I managed to resist Mantic's dwarfs. I managed to resist pretty much everything in the way of dwarfs over the years. I've had some. I've had several ranges of dwarves and what have you over the years, but I've always sort of, no, not for me. My biggest issue with dwarves is the beards and the sort of whole caricatureness that most armies are portrayed with. Yes, I have always been much more of an elven kind of guy. It was Eldar in 40k, it was High Elves in Warhammer. At some point I will, if this goes well and doesn't take 8 million years to complete, I will, I'll probably look at doing my High Elf army as well. Because that has spent almost as much time languishing as these Eldar have. So that needs to be done as well. But if I get my printer set up, I may well have a look at these OPR ones. Yeah, that's it, the High Elf Fleet. Right, that's him done. Ooh, hang on. See, this guy has got super weird elven sideburns, so we better paint those in as well. Skibbity gov gnomes. Would you rather gain muscle or gain eagers? What are gain eagers? Oh, lovely. Let me just get on and check that. Hold on. Let's have a little look, shall we? Let's have a quick look at what we've got. Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. Has he got... Is that a tail? Yeah, that's I do like that. That is a very, very nice model. I quite like the posing and the composition of it. Yeah. Okay, that's excellent. Yeah, I will make an effort to get and check those out, that range. Like I say though, it will be a case of I'm gonna put anything STL and printing related on hold until I get my shed sorted, and then we can sort of crack on with hobbying, as it were. Although by that point the missus will probably want me to let her have the shed or something along those lines. Right, there we go. That's another one jobbed off. So, curious about my opinion. My opinion on what? The high elf model that you posted in Discord? I love it. I really do. I think that's fantastic. I will be the army. What? Sorry, the one-page rules army, or because I've only seen the oh, okay, yeah. No, I will. I plan to. I will have a look. Probably after the stream. I'll have a quick check it out. Okay. It would be nice to try and get most of these done. Now, I do have a slight problem with two of the models. And these two models, the problem that I have is that I wasn't quite sure how I was going to proceed with painting this area. And so these guys, I've painted this all in two different colours. One of them is this bleached bone sort of colour, and the other is this. And it's not exactly ideal anymore. So I do need to decide what I'm going to do with them. For now, I am thinking that I pop these to one side and do the rest of the squad. Actually, and this is a little bit of a cop-out, my back is killing me, and I'm actually going to end the stream because I've had a really good evening. I've had a nice raid from Caveman and a lovely chat. And if I push on for the next 15-20 minutes, I may well end up not sleeping properly. So as much as it's a bit of a cop-out, I am going to end the stream. And I look forward to catching up with you guys again on the next one. Oh, what's happened there? So, if you will bear with me for just a moment, I'm going to find someone to for us to jump into. Let's have a look. Who have we got? No, we did Ren the other day. I don't want to keep dropping in on her stream. Here we go. I hope you will bear with me while we drop into one of my favourite streamers. Really nice energy. You'll have to excuse the fact that he's dressed up like Harry Potter while he plays on the retro classic game Chamber of Secrets. Give it up for Super Gamer Pals. Thank you very much, folks. I've had a wonderful stream. Or I've had a wonderful time this evening, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. So thank you very much. Take care until the next time. See you later.
Okay. Oh. Oh God.
Under your butt.
We've been raided. Thank you, Fluent Code, for the raid. Very kind of you.
Oh, thanks. Raid. Well, the good Super Gaming Pals gaming streaming channel. Raid. Shoot the glass.
Mama get you
Raid.
bin bags.
We've been raided.
They're on offer till December.
Well, you and me pound around, get nuts, doing crazy.
Raid.
You ever seen raid?
I am well aware of what
Raid.
is.
Good news, everyone.
Raid.
What we do is if we need that extra push of the two, you know what we do?
Put it up to
11, exactly. One loud.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Oh, thank you very much, Fluent Code, for the cheeky little raid. Much appreciated. Thank you for the raid. I hope you're doing well. What have you been streaming, mate? Sorry, that was my very subtle raid sound that lets me know when we've been raided. Oh, and we've been hurt by a car. Thank you very much for the cheeky little raid. Much appreciated. I'm trying to shoot it in the mouth, Rodney. There we go. Evening, Willow. Evening, Rob Ireland as well. Thank you, Rob Ireland, for the cheeky heart me, Amy for the heart me, and Frabadoo that you're